All right, everybody, this is my year. I have been asking to work more in the fields and get out more. Baby's bigger. His siblings can watch him more. I've always had a baby here with me ever since we've gotten the farm. And then I'm either pregnant or another baby comes along. So I am getting more into the farm work. I am always chomping at the bit that I want my own tractor and I want to get going. And I told him the other day that the thistles in the north field, I could see them real high, and we have this cover crop of rye growing over here. So I could see coming home from getting groceries that it's kind of low. The road is up high and it's like 50% thistles and 50% rye. So we planted the rye as a cover crop to help fix and amend the soil, not really to harvest it. That was never the intention. So it's a broadcast spread and there are patches. So we've got a little bit of grass growing down in there. It's fine. It has helped with the burdock a lot, but I don't know if you can see this purple behind me. So I've got thistles in here that are 5 feet tall. I'm 5'11". So when I say that this is, you know, my shoulder high or my head high, this is 5 feet tall. This is almost 6 feet tall, and there's thistles out there that are taller than I am. Well, we've had some flooding. Things are drying out finally. I said, let's get out there and disc. He said today, do you want to go out and go disc? So he's getting the disc ready for me right now. He just went through and did a grease job on it. We're going to hook it up to the 730. It's a nice sunny day. It's not too hot. It's not too dry. You're actually able to wear pants without dying. I'm going to go out and I'm going to disc for the first time. So let's see how it goes. Let's see if I don't jam it up. But this is what we're going to be pulling. The old John Deere disc. He did the north. I'm doing the south field. I said north. He did the north field already days ago. So we got to get on with this. And I'm going to use the old John Deere 730. And it's going to be lots of fun. Let's see how it goes. Now, part of why I've been wanting my own tractor is I want to be able to go out, hit the key and the start button and go. Not all these tractors have keys. Some of them have pony motors. They're complicated to start. You got to get the pony motor going to get the primary engine going. I love the old John Deeres. They're great, but I love a little Ford. A little Ford Jubilee is my absolute favorite. So I have been shopping for over a year to try to find one. I went and looked at a Ford, what was it, 3000? Get there to go look at it. Turns out the guy only owned it for a month and a half, so there's issues going on that he wasn't, I think, being quite open and honest about. I didn't even have him started up and look at it. He smashed the front, replaced the seat, and yeah, it was in bad shape. It wasn't straight. It had been smashed up. So, huh? Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to run the bus into the apple tree. So this old John Deere has got a bad, like, engaging clutch or something. I've said about it in another video. And this little sprig is broken off, this little tooth. We need to work on that tomorrow or on a rainy day. So we get it pull started and then it goes just fine. It's a great tractor, but it does need some work. He said it needs some work on the engine. The tractor we're using for mowing is set up for a tire repair. Yeah, tire and tube repair. He snagged it on a parked plow when he was mowing. Ripped the sidewall open. Tight. Usually she starts pretty good. The ground is a little wet, I did spin. So he's gonna check the field to see how dry it is. Yeah, it's an AC Delco starter. It doesn't seem like it'd be such a big deal. But Morgan, I tell you, I'm gonna get it fixed. So this is the rye field to the south of the house. And this is probably 4 acres. It's not very large. It is an area that we left out of the cow pasture. And we didn't originally want this as part of the cow pasture. See, there's a lot of hard packed clay right in this area, and it's all very low. So the cars go off the road. They take the bank at the corner too harsh, and we've picked rocks out of here for years, but none of the seeding took real well here because I think it mostly all got washed out. So you can see here, all that purple, all that gray, that's all thistles. So this is just going back in the opposite direction. The ground gets a little higher, and you can see the difference between the weeds and then the rye. So we're gonna put it all under. We'll disc it down. When everything is disked down that we wanted, he's gonna go into the north field with the plow, and this is gonna become a little hay field. So I've got a pallet full of hay seed already here. This is our sand driveway. The guy hasn't come by with the gravel yet. And every time I go through it, it's been a week, I just cross my fingers that I'm gonna make it. Because there's still a little low spot. It did get a little wet, but it's getting all packed down from the driving on it, so it's not so bad. But you can see here, that's all the puddle we got left. So I told him I wasn't real comfortable going along the fence row because we have an actual cow fence in there and actual animals in there and an actual bull. And yeah, I don't want to snag that. I've snagged fences with a lawnmower, and that's bad enough. So he's going around the edges for me. I read a long time ago, just reading about tractors and implements, dads sending their young sons out and having the implement crumpling up behind them because they were trying to do corners. This is a triangle shaped field. So yeah, there's that. I've got 2 guide wires from a utility pole here behind me. There used to only be 1. They are running high-speed wired internet through the neighborhood for the last 6 months, and I gotta not hit those. But I think Guy's getting a little excited. This is gonna be a twice over job at least. Let me show you what he's got so far. That tasty banana bread. That's what I've got. I ran in the house to grab some water, decided I better get a snack if I'm going to be out here for a while. And, you know, I told you guys last year about that umbrella. It makes the biggest difference. Look at that out there. He's just all happy as can be under that umbrella. The sun's not frying him. And it's plenty breezy today. So I think going over this twice is going to be necessary. It's pretty thick rye. It's done well. And you know, this was rye seed that we had done seed saving from our rye crop the year before. And it was a really good idea to do this. It's kind of how we manage the weeds and whatnot. But I found that clover during the season is really good for weed suppressant as a cover crop because you're growing it at the same time. Look at that deer trail right through there. Going right up through there. The deer love this place, and you know, the lawn grass was almost as tall as the rye 2 weeks ago, so it's been nice to have that going. But we're ready for a mow job again, and if you've been watching, I got these chubby kids. They need to get out here and mow. Trey's so thin He's burning up all his calories working every day. So they're going to be out here. I told him I don't want the little guy up by the road. He's 9, he's not so little, but the cars go by pretty quick. We've had him land in the front yard. All this area, I told him you can push mow to the pine tree. We got some baby pines over on the other side. We just got to keep everybody working here. So Guy, he's been working, 12, 18 hours a day this time of year. There's no shortage of labor for him. When he's not at work working, hauling fuel oil, he's working on trucks. They are a small company. It's him and his dad, and he is the main truck mechanic. He fixes everything, and lately it is tires every single day. So I've spent half of my day today sanding old rims, and on his tires that he has for his trailer, they're a 2-piece deal. I don't know what they're called. I know there's something called a clinch ring. You guys can chime in on the comments below. You know what they are better than me. I'm losing my water. That's why I'm doing a little wiggle. So I already dropped my water once, dumped it all over, lost it on the ground just as I was getting ready to head out on the tractor. So yeah, he's been working long hours doing his job. I've been working, close to 10 hours, 8, 10 hours a day on the rental house, the former rental house, getting it ready to sell. I'm actually getting ready to renovate the bathroom. So we had a few things to get at Menards today for the hay rake, and I looked at some things there for that. And we've got the rest of today. I thought, why not put ourselves to good use? It's maybe 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, and we're having daylight till 10. It's probably not even that late. I don't know. I just so lose track of the hours. I generally don't even eat lunch till 2, maybe 4 o'clock. So I thought, good use of the rest of the day, get some mowing done, get this field work done, and then we're both still working, we're both still doing stuff, and then he can get back on his hay rake or do more on his truck, trailers, tires, whatever he's got to do. But we're just kind of dividing it all off. So Bethy's playing in the house, Murdoch's playing in the house, George is having a nap, and I'm going to get on this tractor. So he's coming back around, and I'm going to hop on. everybody, that is disking. My first time out, I did a pretty good job. You can see in some areas there's some stuff standing up. You go in the opposite direction and it lifts it back up. It's not as satisfying as lawn mowing because stuff gets left up. And he told me, stay 20 feet away from that telephone pole. Well, it's an electric pole, not just telephone. And I thought, okay, I'm doing really, really good. I kept going back and forth through this area. And on this end, we got our yard to turn around in. I thought, oh yeah, I'm doing real good. And from here on, it starts getting harder for turning around. So I end up swinging wide over in the field. And if I'm shouting, it's because of that 2-cylinder. I had earmuffs on and my hearing is not adjusting yet. So, look at this. I thought I was clear. Wham! Right into that walnut tree. I stuck that disc right in there. The front tire and the front disc cleared it by like 3 feet. Of course, that back end swung around. I'm just a farm wife in farmer's driver's training. So he's touching this up for me. There were bunny rabbits kicking up out of there. There was a baby deer. I almost got a second baby deer peeking out over here. He's still in there somewhere. He was kind of taken off the other area. But I asked Guy to finish this area here. The turning around and everything is what gets me. It's total concentration. It's not such a big wide open field. And I'm just down to about 4 more passes here. So I thought it'd be better just to have him clean that whole area up. George is up from his nap and he saw his mama up on the tractor and he kept going, huh? Huh? There he is! Hi everybody! Him and Becky are having some playtime. He's there. He's in his little stripes. He loves the tractor. Trey was having such a hard time because he likes to go out with me. Trey doesn't realize that when I use the tractor for maple syrup, it's different than using the tractor for doing field work. So it's not like my first time on a tractor, but, you know, do I look like any farmer you've ever seen? So I think I did okay. It gave him a long time to be able to work on what he needed to do. And he kind of cut the field for me with his first passes to see where it was wet and muddy so I wouldn't end up next to this cow fence here. And there's still, you know, a good section that's too wet to be working under. And we'll work this under and let this kind of set here. But this will be moisture fixing as it is breaking down the material down into the soil underground when we turn it over another time. And it'll help with that water retention and the soil retention when we get these heavy rains that keep coming through here and flooding, you know, washing over the creek. So hopefully with that work that we did over there on that edge, we'll be able to, it's even wetter here than I thought. Let me show you this. My goodness, he really sunk. So when he told me it was wet, I thought he was just being a little precautionary, but look at that. There's actual standing water here in this mud. And oh my, that's, I mean, I'm wearing tennis shoes right now and I'm sinking walking through this area. So I guess it's been about, oh my gosh, I just about went down. My foot slid sideways. It's been about a week and a half since we cleaned this area out over here, and some of these thistles have already gone to seed. Look at this. That's, to me, that's just a terrible sight. I was so concerned with that, and I knew when I was seeing gray instead of purple. So the tractor, he says the tractor's sick. it needs some work on it. I'd get into areas where the thistle was so thick that it was just bogging the tractor right down. And he said, don't stall it because it doesn't have the starter on it. You gotta pull start it, and it would have been real bad. So this wet area, it's just too wet for the tractor itself, and then you're just turning over mud. So better to wait. It's gonna dry up this week, and maybe we'll hit it again by the end of the week or next weekend. But the main thing is we want to keep these weeds down, and I would say the rye definitely helped a lot. I don't know if you can see this, but by that post, there is a tall burdock there. There wasn't one other burdock near the guide wire that I steered clear of, and one burdock up there. This whole field was so filled full of burdocks last year that we had decided, since we didn't get it planted to hay last year like we had originally intended, that this was a good experimental field for us. So it really worked out well to put that rye down there and to broadcast it instead of put it through the seeder, because it took off really well for the most part. So these areas here where the thistle took over so bad, you know, we had those heavy fall rains that just kind of washed the seed away. Maybe there was just too much wetness or too much soil compaction and maybe too much clay in this area. So it'll have to get plowed, I would imagine. And then at the end, the alfalfa seed, oh no. So in the end, the alfalfa seed will do a lot better, but see, this is another source here where this creek overflows so bad. It just came right up over that bank and went right through this whole area and cut in sideways. And everything from there over is just total and complete wetness. It's bad. I just can't believe. So, super highway for the deer. They get to come over here and have a nice little snack. I got some beautiful butterfly bush and milkweed growing right in here. We've got elderberries popping up. And if you are familiar with elderberries, this is the time of year for doing deep fried elderberry. They cut the stem with the flowers on it and deep fry it. It's supposed to be really good. It's just a plant, but you know, they say dandelion salads and things like that are all a special treat. One of these days I'll try it. Oh, there goes another great big rabbit up there. You see that up past that post? Going towards the road. I've seen about 2 adult rabbits run out of here and 3 or 4 baby rabbits. Just keep kicking them out. I'm surprised with the sound of the tractor they didn't take off sooner. So what do you think? Did I do okay? It's knocked down. That was the main goal. Well, everyone, my farming day is not over. I had a zipper fall off of the leg on my bee suit and I could not get it fixed. It fell apart on me. I'm gonna have to tuck it into my boots or duct tape it around my ankles to make sure I don't get stung. But I've got beekeeping to do still tonight. It was 80 something degrees. It's gonna be 80 all week. I think I've got to do a beehive split. So I'm off to do that. We'll see you all next time, everybody. Remember to hit that like button for my first time doing field work. Yay, Mommy! We'll see you all next time.